started. I'm Seung-Jun Lee, Professor of Political Science at Junggang University. I first would like to thank East Asia Institute for inviting me to this great venue. I think this kind of conference is a valuable venue for graduate students from different academic backgrounds and disciplines to share their ideas and interests so that they can nurture share the ideas about the future course of the regionalism in East Asia. I think by taking advantage of this kind of opportunity, you can build up the kind of intellectual community about these issues. I think forming the intellectual community is the very first step toward the community building in East Asia. Having said that, in this afternoon session, we have two paper presenters. The first paper presenter is Yoon-Jin Lee of Harvard University. She will give a presentation about financial regionalism in East Asia. And the second presenter, Mimi An, she will give a presentation about US-China economic relationship, particularly with the emphasis on the WTO dispute settlement procedures. And each of the presenters will have 20 minutes for presentation, and then I will open up for the floor discussion. And because we don't have the designated discussant today, so I will also serve as a discussant as well as a moderator. And why don't we get started? And Yoon-Jin Lee, you have 20 minutes.
Good afternoon, distinguished professor, honorable guests, and EAI family. As an undergraduate student, this is a truly nerve-wracking but precious moment in life, and I would like to appreciate everyone who made the EPIK Young Leaders Conference possible. Today, I would like to talk about financial community building in East Asia, and specifically the Chiang Mai Initiative, which was launched in May 2000 when the finance ministers of ASEAN plus 3 countries agreed to establish a network of bilateral currency swap arrangements. You might be wondering, what is a network of bilateral currency swap arrangements? It took a while for me to grasp the concept as well, so here's a visual description of the initiative. This is from the Ministry of Finance of Japan. So the Chiang Mai Initiative is launched by the ASEAN countries, the 10 countries to your right, plus the 3 countries, China, Japan, and Korea. It's a network of bilateral local currency swap arrangements. For example, in Korea's case, Korea arranged an arrangement with Japan of swapping local Korean won worth $21 million with the equivalent amount of Japanese yen. And similarly, Korea arranged an arrangement with China for swapping Korea won worth of $8 billion with equivalent amount of Chinese yuan. The ultimate objective of this initiative is to make foreign currency and therefore liquidity more abundant and easily accessible during times of financial crisis. In other words, Chiang Mai Initiative is a regional self-help and mutual support mechanism to manage the financial crisis more swiftly and efficiently as possible. But interestingly enough, the Chiang Mai Initiative is not the first time that East Asian countries got together to create such a mechanism of managing financial crisis. I'm sure everyone will remember here in this room the Asian financial crisis of 1997 to 1998 when stock prices collapsed, export volumes decreased, and unemployment rates skyrocketed from firms and banks closing down. Well, Korea wasn't the only country who was hit by the crisis. Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Philippines were all hard hit from the crisis as well. So in 1997, Japan proposed an Asian Monetary Fund proposal, which is a $100 billion fund with an independent regional economic and financial surveillance system. But this proposal, the idea failed mainly due to the American and Chinese opposition at that time. The US said that AMF is redundant and superfluous with the IMF in place already, and that it might have moral hazard problems, as well as it may decrease US influence in the region. So they pressured China to oppose the idea as well. But since the passage of Chiang Mai Initiative in Chiang Mai, Thailand in May 2000, there has been increasing levels of regional financial cooperation over the last decade. And the question that I was really interested in was to explain how do we account for the failure of AMF in 1997, which was during the crisis, and the passage of Chiang Mai Initiative in May 2000, and thereafter the increasing levels of financial community building efforts.
Before I begin, tiny suggestion to EAI, never to put me right after somebody who goes to Harvard. Less pressure, but I will try my best. Okay, but nevertheless, many thanks to EAI. It's not often that students get an opportunity to present their own papers in a conference. So thanks again for this EPIK event. Just briefly introducing myself. Again, my name is Mimi An, and I'm currently a student at Yonsei Graduate School of International Studies, but I am actually graduating this year with a concentration of international law and organizations. I took several classes in regards to international trade law, dispute resolutions, etc., and this is how I started to write about this topic. I always wanted to, I guess, analyze more about this clash between law and politics, because as an IR student from undergrad, and also for my master's, it just always seemed to be a fuzzy area when it comes to trade law and politics, because it's very much, the trade issues that we have today are very much political sensitive issues, such as we all know about the Course FDA from several years back. But yes, so the title for my paper is How to Successfully Integrate China into the World Economy, China-Specific Safeguards and Its Future Implications. Briefly going over my presentation order, I will introduce my paper topic. Several terms may be a bit new to some of you, and also its relations to the EPIK theme, and I will go on with presenting my paper. So there is currently a dispute going on between US and China in terms of Chinese-made tires. It started when U.S. imposed a safeguard measure, which is a trade protectionist measure on certain Chinese tires. So higher tariffs were applied for 3 years exclusively to Chinese tires, and this was this came into effect from September 26th last year. The panel for the WTO dispute settlement was finally established after much disagreements this year, March, and this serves as a very symbolic case for 2 reasons. First, it's because of its political sensitivity. From the Chinese perspective, they think that it has a lot to do with the political concessions to U.S. labor unions, who did a lot to the Obama administration to get elected. And also, this is a very first case in terms of China-specific safeguard, which I would explain more in detail about what this China-specific safeguard is.